Pentagon announcing today that the U.S. has now removed more than 90% of its troops from Afghanistan. Last week, with little notice, the Biden administration withdrew forces from the pivotal Bagram Air Base in the middle of the night, leaving fleets of expensive vehicles, equipment, and materials available for locals to sell off. An Afghan general said that the United States left behind hundreds of military vehicles and thousands of civilian cars and trucks, though many did not have keys needed to start them. Joining me now, former Chief of Staff for Congressman Chip Roy, Wade Miller, and author of Chasing the Lion, retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Tony Tata. Gentlemen, welcome. General, we'll start with you. These are taxpayer dollars being sent down the drain as troops are quietly being withdrawn in the middle of the night. What do you make of the way Biden is pulling out of Afghanistan?
Hey, Chris, great to be with you. Thank you. You know, when I was the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy with President Trump, we had a very detailed plan for doing this. And we also had a peace deal that we were working on with the Taliban. The Biden administration has abandoned both of those. And so what we see now is this pell-mell rush out the door to meet a timeline. We need to be out of Afghanistan, so I don't disagree with that. But the manner in which we do it, leaving behind sensitive equipment, all of this gear that can be repurposed not only by the Afghan army, but by the Taliban and by the Al-Qaeda, and by some of it can be exploited by our enemies if there's any sensitive equipment that's left behind. So it's a real mistake not to do this in a more orderly fashion. It's the right thing to do to get out of Afghanistan, but it's the wrong thing to do to leave the peace deal at the table and to leave our equipment in place.
Yeah, not to mention, we paid for all this stuff. The timing of this was no mistake. On a Thursday night before a holiday weekend, the administration wanted to just basically bury this. Biden even snapped at a reporter who tried to bring it up on Friday. Watch.
Afghanistan. I'm not going to answer any more questions on Afghanistan. Look, it's 4th of July. I'm concerned that you guys are asking me questions that I'll answer next week, but this is a holiday weekend. I'm going to celebrate it. There's great things happening. We're bringing our troops home. We have all across America. People are going to ball games and doing good things. This is a good. I'll answer all your negative questions, not negative, your legitimate questions.
Wade, I don't know about you. He sounds a little defensive.
Well, I mean, can you imagine what would have happened if President Trump had said something like this about one of our most major actions in a 20-year-long war? Just brush it off as if, how dare the media ask him such questions? I mean, I was told for years that such responses meant that we were basically attacking the media and that democracy dies in darkness. I mean, absolutely, the president, the commander-in-chief, has a duty, especially when such major operations are going underway. Materials are leaving, people are leaving. We have the Taliban on the move. We have the coalition government in place trying to hold ground. I think it's appropriate, even on the 4th of July, for the president to take a few seconds to answer some questions.
Yeah, General, the Chris Salcedo Show has been hearing from enlisted and former enlisted on this racist hate whitey program called critical race theory that's infecting the U.S. military. Doesn't having that there risk compromising unit readiness and cohesion?
Yeah, those are the two notes that I have. You've been looking at my notes, Chris, because it's all about cohesion. It's all about readiness. And if what we're doing is using an indoctrination and a philosophy, which is really what this is, it's not a curriculum. It's a thought process, and it deconstructs cohesion. And when in fact what military commanders are charged with is pulling units together from a variety of different backgrounds. This is what we've been doing since George Washington's days, and focusing them on a single mission, and that's fighting and winning our nation's wars. And by allowing this infestation of this critical race theory to be able to driven down into the ranks, forcing commanders to divide and to call out, and particularly to criticize people who perhaps don't fit into the CRT mythology, and for white people, for example, and denigrate them, that's very, very harmful. And it's creating a lot of tension in the ranks. I still have a lot of friends in the military, and it's not sitting well with folks.
Right. And Wade, you've put together a great toolkit informing Americans how they can combat critical race theory. This has educators and the unions are all dedicating, saying, we don't care what the hell parents say, we're going to cram it down your kids' throats anyway. What do you got?
Well, yeah, so we saw this happening all over the country, not just in K through 12, but in colleges and corporate HR departments, in the government, in the military. And we decided to take all of our knowledge and what we've learned over the years as grassroots activists, as political operatives, as policy experts, got these people all together and put together this kit, which basically starts out explaining what is critical race theory, to make sure that people really have a good grasp on what it is and is not. And then it kind of goes into the second phase, which is how do we actually build a coalition behind this, a group of parents and concerned citizens who understand what this issue is, and then how we can actually galvanize and work with one another to educate more people. And then the third part of the toolkit is how can we actually start at the ground level at our school boards to try to change the culture of our school boards to make sure that, as perhaps Dr. Ibram Kendi would say, that in order to achieve equity, we have to use discrimination, racial discrimination. And if doing that is
Wade,
achieving equity, that's anti-racism.
I'm running out of time here. Just quickly give the address, the web address where folks can go and check it out.
Sure. So it's americarenewing.com or citizensrenewingamerica.com.
Wade Miller and General Tony Tata, thank you very much, guys, for being here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Always appreciate it.